Rests are used to show a period of silence in a bar of music. Now, each note value that we've looked at, whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes, have a corresponding rest that is equal to the same duration of those notes. So let's look at what those look like. Let's start with whole notes and whole note rests. So the whole note, as we saw, is a hollow circle like that. A whole note rest is a solid horizontal line like that hangs from the fourth line on the staff. And this doesn't matter if you're in treble clef or bass clef or whatever, it's always hanging from the fourth line, and that equals 4 beats of silence. Next we have a half note, and as we remember, that's the hollow circle with the stem, and that duration of time, 2 beats in a bar of 4/4, is represented with a rest that is a solid horizontal black line like this that sits on top of the third line. And again, it doesn't matter what clef, a solid bar like this on the third line represents 2 beats of silence. Next we have a quarter note rest, and that looks like this squiggly line. It's kind of a bit like a 3. There's different ways of writing it, but this is pretty much what it looks like. So here's a quarter note on the first beat, a quarter note rest on the second beat, and then a half note rest on beats 3 and 4. And this is what it sounds like. So that's beat 2, and that's beat 3 and 4, since that represents 2 beats. Let's look at an eighth note rest now. The eighth note, as we remember, has the flag attached to it, and the eighth note rest is kind of like a 7 with a little flourish at the end of it like that, a little sideways 7 with a flourish. So that represents an eighth note rest. Now, an eighth note rest can occur, as in this case, on the second eighth note of the beat, but it can also occur on the first eighth note of the beat. So if I play this for you, it's going to sound like a very staccato or short quarter note. So we have 1 and 2, 3, 4. So since the beat can be subdivided into 2 eighth notes, any of the beats can be subdivided into 2 eighth notes, we have a note and a rest, and it could be reversed and have a rest and a note. And the first subdivision of the beat we call the downbeat, and the second subdivision of the beat we call the upbeat. So this we would say is the upbeat of 1, and this is the downbeat of beat 1. Let's look at our next example here. And here we have 2 quarter notes, and then an eighth note on the downbeat of 3, and a rest on the upbeat of 3, an eighth note on the downbeat of 4, and a rest on the upbeat of 4. Let's move on and look at our next example here. And here we have the opposite. We have the eighth note rest falling on the downbeat, and then the actual musical note falling on the upbeat. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Let me play this one for you. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. All right, now let's move on to 16th notes and 16th note rests. Here's a 16th note like we saw in the last video with the double flag. And a 16th note rest looks like an 8th rest, but it has 2 of these little ornate flourishes on them. So this is 1 E and a. So this is E, the second 16th note of the first beat, and this is the third and fourth 16th note, or the second 8th note. 1 E and a, 2, and then 3, 4. So if I play this, it'll just sound like a very staccato note. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So 16th note rest, double flourish on this stem. Let's go to our next example, and I'm going to shrink this a bit smaller so that we can view it all in one bar here. There we go. So now we have groupings of 2 16th notes, we see that with the double beam, and an 8th note rest, which takes up the equivalent of 2 16ths. So this together is equal to the first beat of the bar. We have 1 E, and then the second eighth is rest. Same thing here, 2 E and then here on the third beat, same thing, 3 E and is rest. And on the fourth beat, we have the first eighth note rest and the 2 16ths falling on the last 2 16ths of the beat. Let me play this for you. I'll play it for you with a bar of counting so you can hear the tempo. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So you whisper those rests silently to yourself to keep your place. Let me play it for you one more time. So again, just to reiterate, these eighth note rests can fall either on the first half or the second half of the beat, the downbeat or the upbeat of the beat. Same thing with these groupings of 16th notes. They can fall either on the first 2/16ths or the last 2/16ths, like in this example. Let's look at another illustration here. And here, again, let me zoom it in so we can see it all in one screen. I have two bars here. Now these have groupings of eighth notes and 16th notes that are beamed together, and these mix up whether the 16ths fall on the upbeat or the downbeat. So here we have an eighth note on the first downbeat or the only downbeat, and 2/16th notes on the upbeat. So we have 1 and a, 1E and a, 2E and a, 3 and 4. Now here I've reversed it. I've got the downbeat playing 2/16th notes, the 1E, and the upbeat is a full eighth note, 1E and a, 2E and a, and then back to our original pattern, 3E and a, 4. So let me play you this. So this is important. I want you to understand how these groupings work. 16ths and eighths can be beamed together, and the reason they're beamed together like this is because this all represents one beat, so it makes it easier to read. Instead of having an eighth note with a flag and then 2/16th notes, it groups it together visually into one unified body of notes. So each of these represents one beat or one quarter note, an eighth and 2/16ths. Again, simple fractions. 1/8 plus 2/16ths equals 1 quarter. So let me play this for you one more time. Just want to make sure you understand this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4. 1E and 2E and 3 and a 4. So let's get your pen and paper ready, and we're going to do some simple dictation exercises. And I'm going to focus on rests here, just on quarter note rests and eighth note rests. And as usual, I'll give you 1-bar examples, and I'll repeat them twice. Let me hide the screen here. And what I'll do is position this higher ahead here, so I'll leave the metronome clicking. You'll hear the pulses, and I'll play the examples and mark them down. And remember, quarter note rests and eighth note rests. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, the next example. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 4. All right, let's move on to the third example. Coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last example. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's see how you did. Let's go back here, and we'll look at these answers. So the first one was 1, 2, and then beat 3 was a full quarter note rest, 4 and. Example 2, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So quarter note rests. The third example, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. So on beat 2 here, we had a rest on the downbeat and an eighth note on the upbeat. Beat 3 is a full quarter note, and beat 4, we had again a rest on the downbeat and a note on the upbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let me play it for you. And the fourth example, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So beat 3 and 4 are the same, where we have a rest on the downbeat and an eighth note on the upbeat. So that's it. Practice writing these rest figures so that you're comfortable with them, and I'll see you for more in the next video.